Good evening, viewers at home. It's a wonderful evening and welcome to our second episode of Insurance Scoop. I'm not alone, as I wasn't alone last week. I am with four wonderful gentlemen that will be doing the show with today. Firstly, let me introduce my co-host, Mr. Whedon Berry. May you say hi to our viewers at home, Mr. Berry?
Hi, Cynthia. It's good to be here once again on our second episode.
Thank you so much. It's one of the episodes I've been looking forward to today. As we're speaking about legal insurance, one of the products that probably people know it from SA as with one of the chaos line that I've been using. Don't talk to me, talk to my lawyer. It's amazing how Emma Swati can now say, don't talk to me, talk to my lawyer. They can have a personalized lawyer. You know, when you're walking around, you walk proudly knowing that you have someone that has your back no matter what happens. Can you tell us a little bit more about it before we introduce the gentleman that we are with today, Mr. Fair?
Hey, sure, Cynthia. You know what? Last week I said that other product was my favorite. You know what? This product I think is my favorite because
I hope you won't be saying the product we are talking about every week is your best product.
You know what do you do if you have got several children? Do you choose which one is best? No, one of them can be your best. So today, this one is my best, Cynthia.
I know, I understand perfectly. I know where you're standing. I have 3 kids and you know, it's not easy to choose that. This one is my favorite. The favorite is the one that pleased you that day. So yeah, this is one of the best products that we have, and it's the first it is actually the first in Swaziland, if I remember very well. Mr. Kametse, good evening, sir. Mr. Kametse, please unmute your mic. I can't hear you. I can only see your lips moving.
I just wanted to confirm. Good evening, Simpiwe.
Thank you.
After a hectic day, this is normal. Otherwise, I'm good. I hope you are good.
Yeah, it's been a hectic week. Not just a day. It's been a hectic week. We had you yesterday for the PINFG presentation, which was amazing. It was great to find out that we have such a product for professionals, not just for individuals. We also have products for professionals. Mr. Kamete is our operations manager for United General Insurance, the company that is in charge for the products that we're discussing today. He's not our only guest today. We also have Mr. Bomomusa Lukele. Hello, good evening, Mr. Lukele.
Good evening, Simpiwe, and thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. Mr. Pere, may you just give us a highlight of what Mr. Lukele does for us, and also probably just a reminder to our viewers on what we were talking about last week before we cross over to today's program.
Sure, Simpiwe. Mr. Lukele is a legal guru in the business. He's a lawyer by profession, but covers us on the whole organizational spectrum in terms of legal issues. So I'm hoping that you'll fulfill that role in today's show. So moving on to today's show, simply we are going to be looking at legal insurance cover. We are going to try to have the answers to the following questions. What is legal insurance? How does it help? Who needs it? Who needs legal insurance? So I appeal to all our viewers to stay glued on to this channel. You will have those questions answered, and we are hoping that you will, at the end of this show, make a decision to make sure that you have legal insurance.
Thank you so much. It's an amazing thing that United General Insurance doesn't just offer the legal insurance products. We have qualified, actually not just one qualified lawyer in-house. We have qualified lawyers in-house outside the ones that we have as our suppliers, if I may say, or our partners, to offer the legal advice that they actually need when it comes to the legal problems they may face. As United Holdings, we are saying in our Indlela Yonke, we provide insurance solutions to your day-to-day problems that you might face. Should it be funeral related? Should it be when it comes to protecting your assets at home? When it comes to your health? When it comes to your health or your family's health, we are there to assist you. Mr. Huiden, over to you, sir, to continue with the program.
Simpiwe, as always, we have a special prize or a question at the end of the show, which can result in a special prize for the winner. So viewers, please look out for that. Towards the end, we will ask the question, and if you answer it correctly, you will get a surprise gift from us. But before we do that, Simpiwe, do you have anything on your diary?
Oh, before we actually, just on the same note, we're definitely announcing our, I know we said last week we have a winner, but we're having 3 winners from last week. We had a question that was posed. We are going to be announcing them at the end of the program. So please stay tuned to find out if you are the lucky one that actually is winning the prize for last week's question. So we'll be giving away 3 prizes. One from a customer that actually answered correctly on our LinkedIn page. One that actually answered correctly from our Facebook page, and one that answered correctly on our Zoom platform. That was on our Zoom platform. So I would encourage that as you are tuned in, you pay special attention to what we are going to be discussing, so that you know what the answer could be. But just in case, you know, you have to stand up to go to the kitchen to get a cup of coffee, you can watch the episode on our YouTube channel. So remember to also subscribe while you are watching. Last week's episode is there. So you can go search for United Holdings Eswatini on YouTube. Our episodes will be uploaded there. Going on to our diary. Tomorrow, we are excited to be actually launching our golf sponsorship with Ngonyeni Golf Estate. Tomorrow we'll be there, and we'll be having a match after that. But just in case you can't make it to Ngonyeni for the match, we also have a match at Ezulwini Royal Swazi Golf Course, where we'll be having our weekly leg of lamp. You can join the competition tomorrow, and then on Saturday, our mobile office will be at Lutze. Do go there and try to get your insurance issues sorted out. Tomorrow, the mobile office will be at Mangayane. You can also go there at Mangayane, Efagutse. That's what I understand the place to be, Efagutse. You can get there and be able to be sorted with your insurance issues. On Sunday, we will be partnering with our long-term partner that benefits from our CSI program. So we'll be with Cheshire Homes on Sunday during their wellness activity. You can come through and just get yourself healthy, if I may say. They'll be hosting a wellness day where people will be actually running and walking. So not all of us can run. So you can join us there. We'll be there. You can come through and ask whatever questions that you may have. Of course, every Thursday we are here live. You can join us every Thursday. We'll be tackling different topics. On Fridays, we are live on VOC and on Facebook to join us as we discuss issues. Over to you, Mr. Whedon.
Thanks very much, Simpiwe. Cheshire Homes activity on Saturday. It's a worthwhile cause. Do go for a walk, stay healthy. As United, we will be donating a water point, so we will be keeping you hydrated. So please do go and support our because for Cheshire Homes. But anyway, moving on, we want to move on to today's business, which is to discuss legal insurance. Our guests have already been introduced. Mr. Gamete and Mr. Lukele, welcome. I want to go straight away into the business of today, Mr. Gamete. My first question would be, what is legal insurance?
Thank you, Mr. Bere. Basically, legal insurance is basically a legal cover where a client or our prospective clients, they make a monthly contribution. We're starting from a low premium of 50 Malangeni a month, and whenever such clients are facing any legally inclined problems or issues, they are able to then consult with our office, wherein we can then appoint a practicing attorney in any of the panel of attorneys that we have. We will then foot the bill in terms of paying for those fees. So it's basically saying they are transferring any legally inclined issues onto United General Insurance. And at any time they need legal advice or legal assistance, they can just go to any of the panel of attorneys to get assistance.
I know, Mr. Gamedze, legal advice does not come cheap. And you are saying you are starting off at 50 Malangeni only.
Yes, as insurers, Mr. Berry, one advantage is that, you know, insurance is an issue of a pool of many people. So it's an issue of numbers. When we create a product like this one, we do a consideration in terms of the volumes that might be taken on as clients. So that 50 Malangeni goes into a pool, which then accommodates any one of those clients. But if you calculate directly like you're thinking, if you calculate directly the 50 Malangeni versus the legal fees that you'd be exposed to, that will basically be peanuts. But that's the reason why you need to go the insurance route, because then we have the pool. Hence, we are able to do any kind of cover using that premium.
Oh, great. I think it's quite affordable. Mr. Lukele, maybe you could answer this one. Why is it important to have legal cover?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bear. The importance of legal cover is also a matter of convenience. You would note that lawyers are not expensive. I think you've alluded to that fact, that lawyers are not expensive, they do not come cheap, yet you need them. At the time where you need them, you find that you might not be having the necessary funds, and to order to get a lawyer, you must be able to pay. So this product gives you that kind of cushion and that kind of convenience that you will be covered should you need a legal assistant, be it in a form of advice, be it in a form of legal assistance in court. So we will ensure that you are covered for such an instance.
Absolutely, I think it's a basic must-have if you ask me, Mr. Lukele. But may I ask Mr. Gamedze, you said you start off at 50 Malangeni, but what is the full range of products?
Thank you, Mr. Berry. For us, because this is for the Swazi community, and we know that such products are mainly focused on your low-income earners. So it's mainly for your low-income to medium income. Hence, a 50 Malangeni worth of cover is basically 20,000 Malangeni worth of cover per annum. So that means you could have any case or a number of cases in a year, but accumulatively, they should not exceed an amount of 20,000.
Mm-hmm. And then thereafter, do you have another package for more than 50? Say, I don't think 20,000 covers me adequately. I mean, I'm high risk maybe because of the work I do. Can I pick a higher level package?
Yes, you can, Mr. Berry, depending on your pocket. That's just a range, because we're starting from 50 Malangeni to up to 200 Malangeni. So it depends which range you want to pick. You would want a cover. It all depends on what you as Mr. Berry you were exposed to, because you know your issues. You know normally the problems that are legally inclined that you could be facing. So this is what you take, just like when you take your funeral cover. It's dependent on what you think could be a genuine or a decent burial. So you've got a wide variety of ranges of covers that could possibly be taken by clients.
Could I also cover my family?
Yes, you do. Actually, our covers come in two folds. There is one that is basically an individual cover, which will cover you as a client only. So whatever legal issues, it's just yourself. And then we also have a family cover, where it will be yourself and spouse and also children. You take up to 4 children who are not above the age of 21, and then only one spouse. And if you want to make an addition and add maybe extended family members, there is a certain premium that will also be required to add. So it's as wide, you can put it as wide as possible.
So in other words, Mr. Gamete, you're saying the project is very flexible, depending on my needs. There is some premium that you can set for me, and so that I am covered, my family or myself alone, whatever permutation there is.
Yes, that's correct. We always advise, because when we send out our consultants, I think when they sit down with the clients, this is where then they can then have a discussion where a decision could be made as to which one is the most appropriate cover, because as humans, we basically have very different and vast requirements in terms of either it's a policy or any other, to determine the sum insured which you can use.
That's wonderful. Mr. Lukele, can I be covered for any legal issue? Is there a limit to what sort of legal issue I am covered?
Basically, you can be covered for many legal issues, but there are circumstances which you find that take, for instance, there are issues of pre-existing conditions which you find that the condition happened before you actually take up the policy, which then falls into the policy exclusions, which you would not be covered for at that time. But basically, be it criminal or civil or labor, or be it in a court or any other tribunal matter, you will be covered for, as long as that matter is not among the matters which we will say they are excluded.
I think one of, well, I'll speak for myself, differentiation between criminal and civil, Mr. Luke. This already is going into law jargon. Where is the demarcation between what is civil, what is criminal?
Okay. Basically, your civil matters are the matters that usually you say in criminal matters, the matters that usually you don't even need an attorney for those matters. Mostly you say it's you versus in the matters of law. So for your criminal matters, there are the matters which can include your theft. There can be matters which are fraud. So as opposed to issues of civil, whereby there are issues of claims mostly. So in those areas, there is that situation, which also goes even to the extent of the kind of waiting period that you might get, you will get when you are taking between the criminal and the civil matters. But mostly it's just the civil matters they deal with claims.
Wow, I think now I'm clear about that. Thanks very much, Mr. Luke. One more question, Mr. Zwane. I'm sorry, pardon me, Mr. Gamet. I know it's very common when somebody takes an insurance policy, there's sometimes a waiting period. Can you explain to me what waiting period there may be on this cover?
Thank you once again, and I think that's a good one, because it is always important for us. Whenever we issue cover or a client takes up cover, we would normally want to do what you call underwriting, but we do not have the time to actually go back and check if the client does qualify in one way or the other. So as soon as they take up the cover, we're saying at least the client must have been with us for a period, not less than 6 months, before we can possibly assist him with any civil matter. But for criminal matters, we will only cover them after they've been with us for a period of 12 months or more. It's because these are very different matters at all. And Mr. Kelly will allude to the fact that even the handling of such matters is totally different and could come up with a rather high bill, because criminal matters by their nature, they can extract high bills in terms of legal fees.
I can imagine, Mr. Gamenzi. Viewers, you would
Unayo
now
le-
be scrolling, through your questions.
Why download iZoom?
I think we have some interference. I was saying that you would by now probably be sending your questions to on our platform. If you are on Facebook, watching this from Facebook, please do submit your questions or comments. We would like to see them. You could also send any questions through to all our contacts. We are on internet. Our website is www.united.co.za. Our call center number, the toll-free number is 800-1010. Please do send in your questions or raise any issues that you have regarding legal insurance or any other matter for that, any other issue for that matter. So I don't know, Simpiwe, do we have any questions so far? Technologies in theory.
Technology does the things. Mr. Berry. Thank you for the opportunity. Yes, we have a question. Maybe let me say clarification that is needed. Yes, we are talking about legal, criminal matters, civil matters, and all that. There's a request for us to actually give day-to-day examples of what we mean by criminal matters, what do we mean by civil matters.
Okay. I think that's a question for you, Mr. Lukele. Maybe an example, what is a criminal case and another for a civil case.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bear. Criminal case, for example, I talked about issues of theft. That one falls under criminal act. Criminal matters, usually some of these matters that you even find when you go to court, you find that they in terms of judgment, some they may have even an alternative for a fine, which does not happen when it comes to civil matters. So you also have your cases like SOTV, they still fall under criminal matters. There are those matters that you find that they are being prosecuted by the state or the prosecutor for the state. Those are criminal matters. Yet in civil matters, like your claim either for rentals or for debt owed, or for monies that were lended and then were not paid back, now there is a claim against that one. Which your state prosecutor would not be on the other side, which you find that you need the assistance of attorneys to assist you, whether you are filing a claim or you are defending that claim, and then those matters get into under what we will term as your civil matters. So that will be the differentiation on that matters.
Okay, so if I'm accused of thefts, for example, that is criminal. It doesn't mean I have stolen, but I'm accused of theft. I could be prosecuted if I don't defend myself well. That I'm prosecuted, I can go to jail because I didn't get enough representation. That will be a case of criminal. That will be a criminal case.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Berry.
If I don't pay maintenance for my baby, that will be
a civil.
Perfect. I think that clarifies it. Simpiwe, any other questions?
Mr. Berry. So basically, as parents, we can be able to take to court. We can be able to take to court our co-parents, our co-parenting partners, if I may say. We can be able to take them to court for maintenance through this product. Are we
Yes.
able to be assisted in that one?
You can be highly assisted of that one. We have already assisted a lot, and we are still going to assist.
Oh, that is wonderful. I know we have gentlemen and women out there that are probably trying to get the other party to participate in raising their child. So definitely viewers can be assisted through UGI legal insurance for you to actually have your partner to actually be able to assist with maintenance issues. Another issue is, another question is, do you cover drinking and driving? Mr. Kamez.
Yeah, thank you, Simpiwe. It's quite interesting, you know, because clients are always asking us about this one. On the matter of drink and driving, we do not cover such. For now, we have drink and driving as an exclusion because of its nature and because of other issues. So it is strictly a big no for now, Simpiwe.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kametse. If you have any additional questions, do post on Facebook. We are live on Facebook. We can post here on the Zoom platform. We do have a couple of people that have joined us. We have okay. Let me not say who they are, but we do have some clients that have joined us on Zoom platform. So we are taking more questions. Another question that we have here: do you cover for bail and other costs related to the legal matter?
Yes, Simpiwe, we do not cover bail. What we do is we provide a lawyer who will then go to court to ensure that you are given a fair trial and hearing. So that on its own, it will then speak to the fact that any court decision, we believe that it would have been a good decision based on fair representation. So that's what we ensure. But then when it comes to the bail itself, which is the payment of the monies, we do not participate. You will then have to raise your own resources to settle there.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mr. Whedon, do you have anything on your side while I try to look for more questions?
Simply, I've got quite a number of questions for the two gentlemen. So feel free to stop me should you have any other questions coming through your end. These other questions that I have come through from our customers through other different platforms. The first one, I think I will ask Mr. Lukele to answer. Mr. Lukele, how long does it take to get money after claiming?
Thank you, Mr. Bear. What we need to understand is that this is an insurance cover. We actually pay for the attorney to assist. So there is no money that you get after claiming. The claim is what we then pay to the attorney after rendering the service. So that is what we pay for.
So in other words, what you are claiming is service, not money.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gamedze, which documents do I need to lodge a claim?
The legal claims can be quite complex, Mr. Berry. As Mr. Lukele is saying, we only deliver a service. And anytime, like Simpiwe made an example of a maintenance claim. So for a maintenance claim, there's a specific documents that you would want to get, including a birth certificate, a certificate for the child. If it's a divorce matter, you would have to give us proof of the marriage, which will come in the form of a marriage certificate. If it's any illegal, financial dispute where Mr. Lukele borrowed Simpiwe money and now Simpiwe doesn't want to pay back like they usually do. If there is any contractual agreement that was written, we want you to provide that. So it always varies. It's not like your simple motor claim where you have specific documents that you need to submit. So this one is quite complex, Mr. Barry.
So it will depend on the nature of the claim that you are submitting or that you require. No, I think that is quite clear, Mr. Gamedze. But what happens if I default on my premiums, Mr. Luke?
If you default on your premiums, as I said, this is insurance. You pay premiums to get the service. So if you default on your premiums, then there will be a 3 months waiting period upon which you will not be able to get that assistance until after that 3 months waiting period, which you will then be able to get the assistance that you need. So defaulting of your premium is greatly discouraged when you're having an insurance product. Like Mr. Kamete had said, you're also looking at the contribution that you are making, and as you operate as a pool. So if half of the people can default, then we will not be able to cover up the cost. So you are not able to get assistance for a period of 3 months.
Mm-hmm. So it is always best that you keep your premiums up to date.
Exactly, Mr. Berry. You need to make sure that you are up to date with the premium.
Great. Another question that I have here is, can parents or extended family members be covered under my policy? I think we touched a bit of that when Mr. Gamedze was explaining.
Yes, Mr. Berry, we can. There's an individual cover and then there's a family cover. That is where a parent can be able to get that assistance, and then some other extended family members on an additional premium, of course, to be covered under the policy. But they can be covered under the policy of a principal member.
Yeah, I think so the long and short of it, yes, you can be covered. You just need to come through and sit down with our team, United General Insurance team, and they will advise exactly what you need to pay in terms of premium to get the service that you require. Another question is, am I refunded for premiums paid in advance should policyholder die? I suppose the question really is, I've been paying for 2 years, I have not claimed, and then the policyholder dies. Is there any refund?
Definitely no, unless you are saying he had paid in advance. So in advance means from the date of death, we will then refund any further premium that had been paid. But if you are saying you've been paying for 2 years, you haven't had a claim, and now he passes on, there is no way, because this is how insurance works. You are just buying security. If anything happens, we will not dig into your person checkbook. You have been paying us 50 Malagan times 2 years, which is, we're not considering that, but we are saying we're going to give you an X amount of money to cover your legal expenses. So there's no way we're going to refund. You remember, Mr. Berry, when I started, I mentioned that this is an issue of a pool of large numbers. So you are one of you are a participant in that pool. So there is no way you can get a refund.
Okay, I think that is quite clear, Mr. Gamedze. And the question could have gone either way, and I think you have also answered that. If I had paid in advance, in which case then maybe I had paid for a whole year and I die in February, can my beneficiary claim the remainder of the year that I paid for but did not claim or did not survive through?
Yes, that's true. That's what we can advise, because that money is still what we call unearned premium, which is that premium has still not been utilized because it is just sitting to get a consumed within every month when you get cover.
Precisely. No, thank you very much, Mr. Kameze. I want you to also maybe answer this one. Do I get a cashback if I do not claim for years?
Yeah, the issue of cashback always pops out, up every time. For this legal cover, there is nothing like cashback. It's either you claim or you don't claim. So if you don't claim, there's basically nothing that you're gonna get. So we only meet when you have a legal issue. Don't talk to me, talk to my lawyer. So that pride comes at a cost. This is the premium that you are paying on a monthly basis.
So as is the product, as it is offered, no, it does not give any cashback.
It does not have any cashback. And I think one good part is that most of the clients, we ensure that when they take up the cover, they really have a good appreciation of what it covers. And I think what has happened now, and when you compare what is the volume of claims that we're getting currently and what we used to get in 2019, 2018, it shows that people have now been educated about this legal cover. Hence, we've got a lot of claims issues where we need to assist our clients. So that is exciting, and I believe that none of them basically will take up cover just to expect a cashback, because you take up legal cover, you know you've got your lawyer next to you anytime, any place. You just pick up your phone and call UGI, you will get assistance. Keep your peace of mind, Mr. Berry. That's what you pay for.
I think that's what I'm paying for. Thanks, Mr. Kameze. And maybe, Mr. Lukele, this one could be for you. Are pre-existing cases covered under your United General insurance policy?
Thank you, Mr. Bear. The policy does not cover pre-existing cases for the simple reason that you wouldn't want the clients to if it's a crime, say it's a criminal case, that will mean a person who commits the crime first and then will go to take up the legal cover. So we do not cover pre-existing conditions. That is also why we are having a waiting period. We have 6 months and then we have 12 months for criminal matters. So conditions that were pre-existing, or you take up the policy and during the waiting period, they are not covered under the legal insurance.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lukele. Maybe you can also cover, does cover lapse when policyholder dies?
If it is an individual cover, of course it does lapse because it was covering the individual. If it is a family cover, it can lapse, or the spouse can take over that policy and continue and pay that policy and become a principal a member of that policy. Should the principal member who was the spouse, should that member dies. So it depends which policy has been taken.
Okay. I think that clarifies it. I'm asking these questions as they come because this is what the audience will want to have answered. Are there bails and fines covered under your legal product? I think we have already covered that earlier on, where Mr. Kameze explains that we don't pay bail for you. You would have to finance the bail yourself. What we do is provide a lawyer for you so that you are well represented. The next question is, do you have a premium holiday? Do you have a premium holiday if I lose my job, Mr. Kameze?
Thank you, Mr. Berry. We do not accept that. What we do is we just follow the normal procedure in terms of after 3 months, if you don't pay for 3 consecutive months, we will then suspend the policy and you cannot claim. After a period of 12 months consistently, we will then terminate the cover. So that will just be an automatic termination because we're no longer receiving a premium.
Okay, that is clear. The next question, Mr. Kameze, do I get a refund on a cancelled policy if I have never claimed?
I think we've already answered that one,
Yeah.
but we basically do not do refunds.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the last question so far that I have here is how long is the waiting period? I think we've answered that as well. That is 6 months and 12 months for criminal cases. Simpiwe, I've exhausted some of my first page of questions. What do you have on your side?
Thank you, Mr. William. We have a question from the Zoom platform. Unfortunately, it was directed to me, not to everyone. This one is from TQ. Is asking, do you assist in unfair dismissal work? Mr. Kamets, do we assist?
Yes, we do cover. This falls under the civil matters, under labor issues. So we also do provide cover for that.
Oh, that's wonderful. At least we know our MSWAT can best knowing that they can have a proper representation should they be on the wrong side with their employers, having a misunderstanding, because misunderstandings are always there with the employers. Mr. Kametse, another one is if if I get into a quarrel or misunderstanding with my neighbor, do I get covered?
Yes, we do. I think in one of the pamphlets we noted that if you have issues with your neighbor, but obviously simply we don't say people must then, because now they've got a legal cover, they must warrant teasing people or getting into a mess with neighbors and all that. Obviously, you still have morals to protect, and we still we need the neighbors. But if there is any a serious pushover, we definitely do provide cover for that. It depends on what ground he's actually taking. It's either he's suing for damages or it's just an issue of protection, which could come in a number of issues to provide cover.
Thank you, Mr. Kameze. Another one. Do you cover me or do you assist when someone has sold me an item and they do not, the item is faulty? Maybe let me couple it with the other one, two questions at a time. What happens, Mr. Kameze, when do you assist when it happens that I am trying to buy land? I think this is I'm adding to the other one. I believe they're probably related. What happens if one person buys land, which is something that is happening with someone, and you find that the person has already sent to so many people the same piece of land, and I've paid the person? Do you really assist in helping that person get their money back?
Okay, thank you.
Item.
Thank you, Simpiwe. One thing of note is that if you're saying you want to buy land, is it on Swazi Nation? Obviously, I think this client is talking about Swazi Nation, because if you're talking about the urban development, or obviously there's a certain documentation that you'd want to go through before you do that. So obviously, I think it's the Swazi Nation land. One aspect is saying, now that you have taken legal cover, you must understand that any agreements that you want to enter into, we must be contacted. Why do you want to get involved on a contractual agreement when you have a lawyer who's sitting at United General? Don't only involve us when there is now a dispute, but let us prepare let us prepare you so that you avoid any legal dispute in future. So that's what we promote as Simpiwe, to say, once you've taken our cover, please, you must make sure. Either I always make an example, a stupid example with Pomalume. We always engage Pomalume to pick our kids. 7 o'clock, you must pick the child, and 2:30, when they knock off at school, you must bring him back. And tomorrow, the Malume decides to sell to sell Dlamini wakhe. You find him walking along the street and he says, "Hey, Mnumzane, no longer I sold the car." You've already paid him for 30 days and there's nothing you can do. Now we're saying, who amongst us does make an agreement with Bomalu? Which as it's an issue of personal trust. So we're saying as our clients, these are the things that we must avoid. So there's no way you can go into that and make an agreement. Let's say now you've fallen into that trap. Yes, we will try to assist, but then obviously we will need that proof, which at most times becomes a secretive transaction, because you find there's no receipts, there's not that, but we are saying we will assist, but it can be something that can be avoided going forward. I don't know, Mr. Lukeda, you can basically look that we've given you quite a lot of messy issues around that issue that Simpo is raising, Mr. Lukeda.
Thank you, Mr. Kamete. I think you said it quite right. This is a civil matter. They say civil matters, it's a rise and fall on its papers. So basically, that means if you might have the claim that is there, but if you don't have the necessary documents to support it, it will fall because of those. So those are the issues that then comes to play in what Mr. Kamete is saying, that it would be prudent for a client to come and engage with us before getting into those issues. But of course, when it has occurred, we will assist, but to the extent that the law can be able to cover. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lukele. Simpiwe, anything else? I see, Simpiwe, we've got quite a number of participants who are with us on Zoom. Maybe I can give them an opportunity, 1 or 2 questions from members on the Zoom platform who would want to ask their questions live.
The questions that I've been reading were from here on Zoom, Mr. Ferre. They were doing a private chat, but yes, we are open for questions. Those that have joined on Zoom or on Facebook. You can ask, this is an opportunity to ask any question that you may have, or if you have any comments, we are here to assist with these comments.
Right. I note also that we are quickly running out of time, but in the meantime, Simpiwe, I would like to give our contact details to our followers, our customers, for anything that you need to contact us for. If you have a question about this and any other insurance issues, or you simply want to find out about your policy with us, here are the contact numbers. The toll-free number which comes to our call center is 800-1010, 800-1010. Our WhatsApp number is 7808-8050, 7808-8050. You can reach us on our website as well. There you will find subscription forms, you'll find all sorts of documents that you could possibly use depending on what you want. Our website is www.united.co.sz. You can also contact us through our many social platforms. I'm talking about LinkedIn, I'm talking about Facebook. We are on Instagram as well. Twitter, we are almost everywhere. So any form of contact that you prefer, please do get a hold of us. We promise that we'll do our best to answer your questions or to attend to your issue. Simpiwe, if you don't have any further questions.
There are 2 questions from Facebook, Mr. Whedon, from Hamilton Koza. Hamilton Koza is asking if pensioners are allowed to join. That is his first question. The second question is, do I have a choice to make when it comes to legal representative? I believe he is asking if he has a choice to choose his own lawyer. Mr. Kamete, are you able to assist with that one, sir?
Yes, Simpiwe, on the last one, we do allow our clients to choose amongst the list of amongst the panel of attorneys that we provide. What's good about it is that we have the pool of attorneys is quite wide. But if it happens that the client comes with an issue and insists that he's got or she's got a family attorney that he's used to, we then have to check if that client, we can then engage that lawyer so that we also include him in our panel, and then because we have to agree on the scales of payments, how we remunerate and how we transact with them. So that is what is critical, because we don't want any misgiving after. But yes, we always consider our clients' plea if they want to choose outside of the scope of attorneys that we have.
Thank you, Mr. Kamete. What is the maximum age in terms of training?
Without having to complicate things, we take cover up to 64. I'm saying not to complicate things because there are certain reasons why pensioners are not allowed, because you are not allowed, you can't tax, pensioners and all that. So even insurance works almost the same way. But we take up cover up to the age of 64.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kamete. I think that
maybe related to that, Simpiwe, I'm wondering, Mr. Kamete, if I have been holding a policy and I reached the age of 64, does that mean you terminate my policy because I've reached the age of 64?
That's not the issue, Mr. Bailey. We are trying to ensure that people take up cover whilst they still can. Don't wait until you see a problem popping by the corner and then you take up cover. So you remember that the way back, people used to say insurance uyadlana, and our parents never took up insurance, even your funeral cover. So we're encouraging people to take insurance cover as young as they are. But if you take up the cover and you attain the age of 64, we cannot stop you from continuing with the cover.
No, thank you very much. You can go ahead, Cynthia. Sorry, I interjected.
Thank you, Mr. Whedon. There's another question: does the cover include advocates?
That is only based on the amounts that are involved. If you decide to take a 20,000 cover, obviously you wouldn't go for an advocate. But if you take enough cover up to 100,000, you might start talking about advocates. But you are limited because you are restricted by the amount of cover that you take. Remember, Simpiwe, we said our cover start from 20,000 emalangeni up until 100,000 emalangeni. And your advocate, you know how much they charge an hour just for appearance.
That's wonderful, Mr. Kamete. It actually brings me to this point that what we usually emphasize on our Friday show, that when you take up insurance cover, make sure that it will meet your insurance needs. We know very well that you probably run into legal matters quite often. It's important to make sure that you have a sufficient cover. You cannot just go for the 20,000 cover, knowing very well that you find yourself on the wrong side of the law most of the time. It might not just be that, but it's important to actually have a cover that can meet whatever needs that you may have. This goes across any insurance products that you may want to take up. Make sure you have the right cover. The great thing about it is that you are allowed to upgrade should you notice that, you know what, the cover that I have is not sufficient, may not meet my needs. You are allowed to upgrade to a higher cover at any time. So you can call our offices to ask any question in relation to what we are talking about today. To get the right advice in terms of the right cover to take. We have qualified consultants that can actually assist you in whatever method that you take. We will be rolling out testimonials. We have quite a number of clients that have come through to us to say, you know what, United General Insurance, you have assisted me. I am really, really happy. The great thing about it is that we have clients that are ranging from as young as 22 to as old as 64, or as old as you may think your grandma is. It's quite fulfilling to us as a company that we are able to assist Emaswati in legal matters that they face. Mr. Whedon, I am actually running short of words. The way I am thinking about this product, noting that Emaswati are actually embracing this product and taking it up.
I can hear you, Simpiwe. You talk like you're in a spirit now. So it's something that's in you.
You know, you can't
interesting.
I know Simpiwe, she's extremely, or she becomes extremely passionate and she won't stop. And I'm saying, woman, hey, it's time to stop. Simpiwe, I think we are running out of time. It's time we should close the show now. So I would like to take this moment to thank the two gentlemen, Mr. Patrick Gamedze, United General Operations Manager, Mr. Pongumuso Lukele, who is our legal expert, in-house legal expert. Thank you, gentlemen, for making the time to talk to our customers, to talk to our prospective customers, to talk to the nation at large about legal insurance. What remains for me to say is you must really consider getting legal insurance. You never know when you need the legal advice. You never know when you need to be represented by a lawyer. Sometimes it does not mean that you have committed a crime, but you may be accused of a crime, but because you are unable to defend yourself, you might find yourself spending time in jail unnecessarily. So please do consider taking an insurance cover, legal insurance cover. And once more, to do so, just call our call center. The number is 800-1010, 800-1010, or get through to us through our WhatsApp number, which is 7808-8050, 7808-8050. It has been a pleasure being your host tonight, and as always, I'm with my partner in crime.
Not in crime.
Not in crime. Okay, you're no longer my partner.
Thank you, Mr. Brace. It's quite an honor to be serving the Eswatini nation our projects and this program, which we believe is assisting quite a number of our clients that usually have questions. We cannot close the show without the great news. We have our two winners from last week. From Facebook, we had a question. Let's check our question was. Name 4 subsidiary companies under United Hope and one product that they provide each. So on Facebook, we had Mr. Sandile Dlamini, who actually responded on the live session with the please do inbox us, Mr. Dlamini, so that you can get your t-shirt and a lunch bag. Please do inbox us. And then we have Mr. Mangoba on LinkedIn. Thank you for following us on our social pages. Please do inbox us so that we can get your details and you can actually get your gifts. Mr. Gamedze, are you ready with the question for this week, sir? Or you want me to stay around?
You can take on the question, because so that when you don't give them the prize, it is not my fault.
Oh, Mr. Gamedze,
I think it becomes easier when it comes from you, Simpiwe. I'm just waiting and watching.
You know,
Simpiwe, because you always give simple questions, I want to ask a tough one this time.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember, it was one. It's based on the first thing that Mr. Gamedze said. That we give our premiums start from as low as 50 Malangan. So my hard question is, what is the minimum premium one can pay to get cover?
Oh, nice one. Minimum. Anyways, if you have missed the answer to that very hard question, you can actually link it to our YouTube channel where we are going to upload where we upload our episodes to get the answer. You know, it's a very hard question. I'm still amazed. It's a very hard question. Thank you for joining us at home. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. It's great to have such wonderful experts with us in the program. Do tune in next week. Remember to tune in tomorrow for our live session at 1:30. We will be discussing further legal insurance. You can prepare your questions, because I know we still have some questions that haven't been responded to on the live session. Time is not on our side. We are going to respond on the comments. We are also going to be live tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. We'll be live on VOC. We'll also be live here on Facebook. Do join us. Otherwise, from me, thank you so much. Do make use of our toll-free line 800-1010. You will talk for as long as you need to talk. Mr. Whedon.
Please, before you go on and start again, goodbye, people. See you next week, same time, Thursday, and we will be here again with a different topic this time. Thank you very much for joining us. Bye-bye.
We will be covering health. It's Men's Health Month, actually. Next week, we are covering men's health. Now, we'll be talking so much about men's health. So, tune in next week and do prepare your questions. Have a lovely evening.